GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Chelsea scores! Popping the Cordova, baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go hunt moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! LA face with an Oakland booty. Scores! Make me a bicycle cop. They score! Bowmeister! Pay that man his money!
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Derek with GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us, and we are about 1 minute behind, so hopefully all audio levels are good to go. We've got Paul, Sean, Dan, and Tom on the line. Hopefully Jason will be joining us a little bit later, we'll see. But I do know that Paul was at the San Jose Sharks sale this weekend, and Sean was at the Blackhawks Convention. So we're going to be talking heavily about those things, and maybe eventually we'll get a caller that was at the Meigray Expo, but we'll see. We don't have anybody queued up for that. So everybody knows that the San Jose Sharks sale is usually a really big event, and I don't think it, from the pictures that I saw, really failed to disappoint, especially since they had Stanley Cup Finals jerseys this year, which is a first. Paul, do you want to tell us a little bit about it? I noticed this year it was back at the Sharks Ice versus last year, which was at the, what is it now, SAP Center?
That's right. This year they moved it back to Sharks Ice, basically due to two reasons. One, the season went longer than it ever has in San Jose, considerably, which was a good thing for out here. And then coupled with that, SAP Center was basically booked the last couple of weeks for a weekend solid. So there was really no time that they could have had an SAP Center. So what they planned on doing is having the equipment sale at Sharks Ice, where we've always had it in the past. And then in a couple weeks or a month, there's going to be the Sharks Super Sale, where they sell all the memorabilia and non-GameWorn stuff.
Ah, okay. So that's like last year where they had the floor split half and half.
Yes, so it would be that other half, and that will probably be at SAP Center. And I have no idea what else they're planning on combining it with. I would have guessed probably kind of a fan day or something, but I don't know anything yet. I actually like this year better than last year. It's much more intimate and easier to find things at Sharks Ice. It's a smaller room, and it was just the game-worn stuff, and I didn't have to worry running back and forth from side to side. It was also only 2 days this year, as opposed to the normal 3. So day one was owners, suite holders, employees, and then season ticket holders. By the time it got to the season ticket holders, a lot of the decent Stanley Cup Finals jerseys and retro jerseys were already gone.
Well, from what I understand, the prices were actually pretty decent on the Stanley Cup Finals jerseys.
The prices were shocking. I think the cheapest one I saw was $350 or $400 for a game issued. Then they had a number at 400 players who skated in warm-ups but did not play in the games. And then the gamers started at like $500 or $600, and the most expensive one was $1,500.
Man, that's so good. You look at any other team's Stanley Cup Finals jerseys, and you're going to be looking at, 3-4 times that.
Yeah, the Penguins game issued were $950.
Wow.
Blackhawks backup jerseys from 2015 were going anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000.
Wow.
So that's a steal.
Yeah, I was pleasantly shocked at the pricing. As you know, I take orders for some friends and stuff, and there were a number of requests for Stanley Cup Finals jerseys, and everyone's guess on the pricing was about twice what they actually were.
Some very happy customers out there.
Oh, yes. And at the end of the day, yesterday, they only had basically warm-up jerseys left. They had the Reimer jerseys, which for some reason were priced at $600, which seemed a little bit pricey for when you compared it to the other players who didn't play. And one or two others, but no one who No one who played. And the retros were almost all gone too. There were about 3 or 4 left. And the strange thing is, one of them was the Joe Thornton retro. He had, as you know, he wears 2 jerseys each game. And the one retro that did not sell, or heritage jersey, was a Joe Thornton, but the wear was so light. I think that was $1,100.
Wow.
Which is not a price for a Thornton.
No, it's probably about average from what we've been seeing. Lots of skates, lots of gloves, helmets. Man, I saw the pictures, and as usual, did not disappoint at all.
Yeah, no, it's I would say the only thing that was disappointing for me is they did not have the Stanley Cup Finals helmets or the jackets, the bench-worn jackets like Mike and the staff were wearing with the Stanley Cup Finals logo. And the thing I missed out on, which I really wanted, was the Gordie Howe stickers that both teams wore in the final game on their helmet. But that is a very, very minor complaint.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a good time overall.
Oh yes, it was great seeing everyone there. It's a lot of these people I catch up once a year, and it's at the sale. Good times.
Anybody have any questions for Paul regarding the sale?
I wish I collected San Jose Sharks jerseys with those prices. That's all I can say. Those are awesome.
Right?
Do they have a lot of Barracuda stuff there, Paul?
They had the complete teal and white sets of Barracuda jerseys, and they had a couple of the warm-up jackets, which I ended up picking up one warm-up jacket for my collection, and then all the helmets and gloves and gear from Barracuda. So it's
Now the Barracuda, they're ECHL, right?
AHL.
AHL. Okay, gotcha. It's so hard to keep track of it after last year with everything moving around. I was just like, give me my NHL games.
It's going to get crazy again.
Hey, Paul, do they do goal pucks at all? Goal scored pucks?
No, the only pucks they had were issued pucks, or whatever you want to call them, for the Stanley Cup playoffs, not even finals pucks. And goal pucks for the Sharks, they don't have a program for that yet. They're one of the few teams where I don't know of any home Sharks goal pucks in the hobby. So there's an opportunity there.
Sounds like a great opportunity to convince them to get one started. And I'll see if I can't head that up. That'd be fantastic. But
it's a growing part of the hobby, that's for sure.
Yeah,
goal pucks are hot.
Exploded this year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What would you say was the coolest thing that you saw there?
It was nice seeing the Stanley Cup Finals jerseys. I mean, that's kind of a cop out there. Easy answer. I do like the 25th anniversary jerseys a lot better now that I got them in my hands. That patch always bugged me when I saw it on the ice. It always looked like it was crooked or something, but in person it looks a lot better.
It's funny you should mention that, because every time somebody talks about the Stanley Cup Finals patch, I can't help but think of the New York Rangers ones where they put them on the shoulder and then moved them, and you could still see like the glue and the backing from where they'd moved it. That I always think about that every time somebody posts a picture of like any Stanley Cup Finals jersey. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the Sharks actually did that for the retro set. They put the 25th anniversary patch on them, thought it was too crowded, didn't like the way it looked, and then removed them before they were worn in a game.
Oh, wow.
So all the retro jerseys, there's little, stitch marks there where the 25th patch was removed.
At least they didn't re-put them back on and put them on the wrong side, am I right? It sounds like a pretty good time there.
Oh yeah, no, it was fabulous. And I found a few little things which, for me, I really liked. Like a Velcro nameplate from Racine, the goalie from Michigan, who was out here 2 years ago in the Prospect Games. No other, hidden gems like the Urek on that Glendenning.
Oh yeah, that was so sweet. I still have those, man. I don't know what to do with them, but I have them.
Yeah, I some of the stuff I got, I have no idea what to do with either. So.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he had any like time in San Jose for any reason whatsoever until you brought those nameplates up. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that. I think it was when he was still in school and hitting some of the prospect camps, and so he was out here for one of the the prospect scrimmages.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about the San Jose Shark Sale is you always can find like they're not big items, but they're like little kind of like hidden gems, like little tiny secrets, like just things that are just small but really neat to pick up, or things that you didn't think that they had. And another thing about the Shark Sale is they sell the most equipment I ever seen, and I'm talking like across the board. Like as far as the Red Wings go, I've never seen them sell like player chest protectors, shin guards, elbow pads. And the Sharks get rid of all that. Dude, I think I saw a picture of jock straps for the Sharks.
They were selling them, I think, $5.
Ew.
I think
Gross.
I think Paul took a picture. I think there was 6 goalie masks there on the table.
Wow.
Yeah, they had 6 masks this year. And a few of those did sell this time. They'll probably take the ones that did not sell, bring them back for the sale next year.
Man, we should have picked up a jock so we could send it off to Marco.
I should have picked one up for a door prize for Chicago Expo.
Oh, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I do
How
have
do they price the goalie masks, Paul?
The cheapest one was $2K for an JP Anderson, and it went up to $6K for a Nabokov.
Okay, cool.
Now, who's the goaltender that was pretty hot for the Sharks there for a while? Was that Mike Jones?
Martin Jones.
Martin Jones? Did they have
Yeah.
any of his like pads or masks or anything? And what were the prices like on that if they did?
They did not have his mask. I think they had like his blocker and gloves for I 175 or 200 each, and then the pads are typically 500 or 600. But by the time I started checking the pricing on the goalie gear, his stuff was all cleaned out.
So it was pretty hot.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I have. I can't buy goalie gear anymore unless I'm paying like sub 300 for pads. I'm spoiled
Yes,
now.
Yes, you are. So another thing I missed out on, which I wish I would have picked up, was they had all the specialty socks from the Barracuda, like the Star Wars socks.
Oh, fancy patterns, unique patterns
Yes.
for socks. That's cool. How much were
Yeah,
those
those
running?
got-
Like $5, $10?
Those were either 10 or 20 a pair,
Hmm.
and those got wiped out quickly. I was focused on jerseys at first.
Oh yeah, no doubt. They always have some really cool stuff there, though. Unfortunately, I didn't have any banners. Like, I got these. What would you say? I got like 12 banners. I still don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with these things, but they're so wicked. Like, it's hard to not love having them. I wish I had more of just other teams in the Sharks, but people are wanting like 125, and I just can't bring myself to pay that after paying what I paid for the Sharks ones. You know.
Didn't you just make like an indoor hockey rink that you could put them up in?
Yeah, I'm kind of toying with the idea because I can't put them over the dashers because then you're only seeing half of it and that looks stupid. I could put it at the end boards, but then you're sectioning the whole thing. Like, I don't know. I got to figure it out. Maybe it's going to be wallpaper. We'll see.
Oh,
So
but
the good news is they should have the banners when they have the super sale or the store sale later this summer.
Oh, that would be awesome. Stanley Cup Finals banners would be so dope.
And if I'm in town, that is the only reason why I'm going to that sale.
Get me some.
I'll take orders.
Now, one of the nice things that you were doing when you were taking orders was requesting that anybody that you take an order donates to GameWorn.us for our continued development as well as our hosting costs, any back costs that we may have. So I want to extend a huge shout out to you, Paul, and a huge thank you for that. Obviously, the website and the operators appreciate anybody who does anything kind for that. Running this thing is a lot of hard work and a lot of time, so just getting the recognition out there is really awesome. So thank you for that, man.
Oh no, happy to help with that. And I hope the donations start rolling in for you.
Definitely, I will keep you updated on that. Any other questions on the shark sale? I'm sure we'll come back and start comparing between the two. Did we have anybody here on the call that went to the Meigray Expo this year?
No.
Probably not. I'm thinking no. Now,
No.
Eric and Sean, were you both at the Blackhawks convention this year?
Yes, we were.
So you guys met up?
Yeah. It's been an annual event, man. All the Chicago guys get together and see each other there every year. It's always a nice little drink fest, I guess.
I just got a message in from one of our listeners, a Donskoy. Am I saying that right? Donsky Barracuda is on eBay now for $4,000. And
Right, hobby, man.
a Pavelski is on eBay as well for $8,000. So gotta love the sale. Gotta love seeing what turns and burns.
You've got to be kidding on the Donskoy, because he never played for the Barracuda. That jersey was only made up because he was on a two-way contract. I think it was, well, the most expensive Barracuda jersey was $500. So
Gonna have to look that one up right now. We've got a listener that was at the Meigray Expo, so hopefully we'll talk about the Blackhawks convention here, and we'll see if he wants to kind of chime in a little bit through his chats and let us know some of the cool things that he saw at the Meigray Expo, because it's gonna take him a while to chat. But so Eric and Sean, you guys were at the convention. So how was that compared to previous years? I know we've written articles about it with different people's input from previous years. What would you think or compare it to the previous years, since you guys seem to go every year?
Eric, you wanna take that, or?
Sure. Yeah, I can go, and then Sean can kind of fill in the gaps. I'd say it's pretty much along lines, pretty much the same as every other year. This year they had the usual grab bags every day, and those were $300. And then after they sell, I think it's 10, then they dish them out, and then the people open them. Sean would know more about what the highlighted jerseys were. I think one, I don't even remember what they were because I didn't go for them. But
yeah, it was Duncan Keith on Friday night. Saturday was Seabrook, and Sunday was Jarmelson. And so those were like your big pulls, and they were all playoff shirts. So it's not like you're getting a hammered regular season jersey. It's a playoff shirt, but it's still, a Duncan Keith or Brent Seabrook, which cost you a heck of a lot more than $300. So.
Oh yeah,
good
definitely.
stuff.
So how do those grab bags work there at the convention? I've heard different stories. I want to make sure I have mine right.
Yeah, when the doors first open, the Hawks convention works a lot differently than like the Detroit or San Jose sales. The only things you can really buy outright are grab bags, goal pucks. This year they had practice jerseys, and then they have some other stuff like little pendants and purses and stuff that they make out of different Hawks gear. So for the grab bags, it's basically first come, first serve. I think there's 11 every day, so 11 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And like Eric said, once those 11 are gone, then they hand out the boxes and people start opening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, got it.
I can speak to the buy it now stuff as well. Like Sean said, there are the pucks. In terms of miscellaneous stuff, they did have some sticks behind the table this year.
Yeah, they did.
Some guys were gone. And then there was the practice jerseys, which every day they seem to have a rack of stuff. They're behind the table that you got to ask for, or whatever the case is. And in terms of items that they've sold to, is they'll take items that are broken, eyelets, some skate laces, you name it. If it's broken pieces of skate, and they put it in a jar, and they make it like those homemade ingredient jars. So they'll have the trinkets in the canning jars per se, and they'll have like an ingredient tag, and they'll say number 88 skate lace, number 50 eyelet or Blackhawk helmet sticker, or whatever the case is. So they'll sell those as like little cooking jars, I guess if you want to call them. This year they had little bracelets made out of, they took the plastic visors, cut those out, with, and then they had skate laces, and then they had laser etched player number on the visor. So they were selling little pendants, bracelets like that. They had little pendants that they take the skate steel, and again they laser etch the number or the player's name on them. So that's little pendants. They do that. Something new this year was they took the street banners. You guys were talking about banners earlier, the canvas banners. They cut those down and made little carrying bags out of them, or purses, or whatever you want to call them. So those were kind of cool.
Yeah, they do. They put a lot of effort into doing different stuff every year, and like in this case, they do a lot of repurposing with stuff, which is really kind of neat. They do put a lot of thought and effort into it. So for a GameWorn collector, we're probably not the number one audience for a lot of that stuff. It's just somebody at the convention that wants something cool, but it is GameWorn related. It's kind of neat.
Right, and it's not like they're chopping legitimate things up. It's already been broken, like a stick or whatever the case is, and then they're finding another use for it. It's not like it's something legit that they're cutting up for a card or anything like that. So, but I mean, the prices are not bad on that kind of stuff if that's your thing. Comparative looking, I mean, I'm not a puck bunny or a lady that wants that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, prices wise, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, this year seemed actually manageable. I mean, I was chasing guys that had stuff from grab bags that I wanted, but for the most part, even the headline stuff on the live auction or even the silent auction with the bid off didn't seem too bad price wise.
Yeah, well, it helps when you don't win the Stanley Cup every year, I guess. So, right? But yeah, I'd say pricing was down kind of across the board. I mean, the higher end stuff still went for higher end prices, but the last few years the Hawks haven't put like the highest end stuff in, so there wasn't like a Kane jersey, a Taves jersey, or a Panarin jersey this year. But you still had Keith, Ahosa, Seabrook, the rest of the guys on the team. Basically, there's usually one and in the game more than one.
Bless you.
Hello. There's more than one jersey for the goalies, but there's one of everybody basically at the convention over the weekend. And as Eric alluded to, there's a live auction that goes off earlier in the day, and then it's a silent auction that ends later that evening. But what happens at the end of the silent auction is if your name is on the bid sheet, they basically have a live auction there at the end. And it's such a big room, there's so much stuff. That's what they kind of devised in case you're bidding on multiple things. You can't, sprint back and forth across the room to try to be the last bidder type of thing. And that's when the fun starts.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Now, when at the Blackhawks convention, it goes over 3 days, and there's quite a bit more than just selling off gear and whatnot. So, I mean, there's quite a bit more reason, it's not just people looking to buy this stuff. It's symposiums and things. Do you guys attend a lot of those?
Every year I say I will, but I always end up drinking heavily and just hanging out in the equipment area, it seems. So, but yeah, they've got, the entire weekend, it's all geared towards autographs, photo sessions. They've got panel discussions of, what it's like to win the Calder Trophy, or, a reunion of the guys from the 2010 team, or they have one that's like geared towards kids, and kids get to ask questions. So there's a lot of really cool stuff if you just want to ignore the little equipment area. But that's about where I hang. So.
I definitely want to make sure I get a chance to come out to one of these times. It's just, unfortunately, this year was a bad year because I just had a child, and it's hard to get away from your kids sometimes, man.
Yeah,
that's why I'm hiding in the basement right now. So.
Me too.
It definitely sounds like a blast.
That I drug my 10-week-old with us, so.
Yeah.
So we made it work. Heck, I was bidding with her and her man. So, yeah. But every year I try to do like one panel, because honestly, sometimes people just ask questions, and then there's some stuff that's actually really good. Honestly, some of the kids ask better questions than the adults at some of the discussion panels. So, and then they always have a display of like game use stuff. This year they didn't have like any of a lot of the trophies. Usually every year they have a spread of trophies throughout the league that the Hockey Hall of Fame usually brings in. this year the display of game use stuff that they put on wasn't bad, but it wasn't the massive amount they had before. They still had the mock locker room per se that you could take pictures in and stuff. And I was giving Troy, the equipment manager, a hard time because they had legitimate gamers in stalls that people were manhandling, and as well as equipment and everything else. And I mean, they all had the set tags in them and everything else. And I was like, Troy, you're killing me here. Seeing the stuff and just kind of laughed. But you know, that stuff was out there. So, and they watch it like a hawk because obviously it was the big name guys that were out there. Here they don't have the big names up for sale, but they had them in the fake stalls. So, but yeah, I mean, they got normal vendors and stuff like that. And a few of them have game use sticks and stuff like that. But I don't know if the Hawks kind of regulate that and saying, hey, here's what we have, our own game used area. You can only sell certain things, or what. But you always see a handful of things, but not like an abundance of jerseys or gear. It's usually, you know, maybe a dozen sticks at the most between all the vendors. So
yeah, no, I know for a fact the Hawks don't regulate anything along those lines, but it's really all expensive to set up there. So if you got a couple jerseys, it's not the place to go and set up. I mean, it's all like guys that are selling autographed pictures and pucks to get autographed and that type of thing. So
right, and you know, but the food for thought on the pictures and stuff is the convention does run 3 days. So if you really want somebody, wait till Sunday to buy a picture, and a lot of them are already signed and stuff with authentication on it. Or if you want to be really patient, you wait till they get rid of them, and then the vendors basically cut the prices in hands of guys that are long gone. I mean, I got a nice, huge poster size Niemi for like $20 and a sign. So, you know, depending on what you want, that's the place to get it per se. So, but yeah, it's always a blast to see Sean and the other guys there. And you know, we always try to coordinate efforts amongst each other for the most part. There might be a few minorities out there that don't, but on, hey, let's go for this, or I want this, or try to coordinate that together. So that was good.
And it sounds like one of those things. Oh, go ahead.
Just sites that sticks, helmets. The last 2 years, they've really cut back on the masks. They do have gloves as well, and I mean, for guys that collect like gloves, those that really like
Man,
are just Hawks fans, yeah, and they just think, oh, you know, I got to have a Patrick Kane stick, and they don't realize that, you know, Kane probably uses, you know, a couple hundred a year, and they just go nuts with the prices of some of this stuff. Sometimes it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see some of the trends, especially in the Hawks market. I think you guys have one of the most unique markets to the GameWorn hobby.
Fortunately or unfortunately, that's true.
Now, I've got a little bit to read from one of our listeners that has been typing to us some information about the Meigray Expo. So I'm gonna try and paraphrase this the best I can, or be close to what we're talking about. So it looks like that there were a bunch of exhibits from the Hockey Hall of Fame inductees, Lindros, Makarov, and I don't know how to say this, Vachon, something like that. And it looks like they're like
Rogi Vachon.
There you go. Yeah. Not my it's not my watching era there.
Yeah.
But
mine either. But
somebody had like 16 Lindros jerseys on display.
Wow. That would be Stu from Meigray, I'm sure.
There were
He's the world's largest Lindros fan.
Oh, yeah, that very well could be then. Looks like there were some 50s Eastern League shirts, like Atlantic City, Philly Ramblers, and Jersey Devils. Let's see, there's the Capitals jerseys. So all the Capitals captains throughout the years from Jeff Thompson. Jason Seidel was there again with his awesome New Jersey Devils display. And you can see pictures of that all over Facebook. It's pretty incredible. Larry Pelliccioni, he had his movie worn jerseys there, which are pretty cool to see. I believe I saw a picture of the one of the Miracle jerseys. There was a large rack of minor league jerseys from Mike Hogan. Most of the collectors were from the Baltimore, Philly, and DC areas. Swap table was pretty brisk, it says. Brisk trading at swap table. Of course, Francis Ratty had lots of Bruins, of course. Robert Butler from Birmingham, Alabama was there, and Meigray and Larry Pelliccioni, they had grab bags, and they sold out of the grab bags. Door prizes were pretty fun. They had a lot of game-used sticks for door prizes. And how the door prizes work is if you're in attendance, you bought your ticket, you get a little ticket, and then throughout the expo, they kind of read off the numbers. The next message here says Miracle, Don Cherry Story, and WHA movies. Oh, part of the grab bags. That's pretty cool. Kind of sounds like a lot of fun. Pretty good turnout. Sounds like it's pretty regional. You know, it's I've gone. I got to go last year, and that was a lot of fun. Pretty cool part is they always have a unique speaker. I don't recall this year who was
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. There you go. Yeah, I've been a little bit like slow on the whole news thing because I just have a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of work, but you kind of get the idea. A lot of really cool pictures out there floating around on Facebook. I'll see if I can't get some people to submit some so we can put them on the website and let people oogle at some of the displays. I know Hockey Hall of Fame always has some really cool displays as well. I did see this year a couple Wayne Gretzky jerseys, a bunch of Gordie Howe jerseys were there. I don't recall them being there last year because I think I would have spent some time looking at them. So I think that was some of the things that stood out this year to me, at least through some of the pictures.
Speaker was Keith Jones, Nat.
Keith Jones, yeah. Yep, I got that in the message here. All this information that I'm reading off is coming from Tom Coleman, and it was his first year at the Meigray Expo this year. So kudos to Tom for going out of his way, making sure he gets to an expo, part of a collecting hobby. It's really cool. On that note, anybody who hasn't gone to an expo, you probably should. Another shameless plug here, April 8th, coming up. Quick, fast, check it out. Chicago, GameWorn.us is going to partner up with a bunch of people, put on a huge expo. It's we're trying to get people from all over the place, not just regional, and there's more than one reason to go there. 1, barbecue buffet. I'm already there because of that. 2, really cool displays, meeting people and shit like that. And 3, it's Frozen 4 weekend. So let's go watch some hockey after. I think that'll be cool. So yeah, we're going to set up some hotel packages and things like that. End a shameless plug. Have you guys been to the Meigray Expo previously? Any of you? Or
Yeah, I was there in 2007, the year before the Hawks Convention started up. And every year since then, it seems that the Meigray Expo and the Hawks Convention are the same weekend.
Same exact one, yep. I was going to go to the one last year, the Hawks Convention, and it ended up being on the same weekend, of course, as the Meigray Expo, and I wanted to get to the Meigray Expo so I could do that, so I ended up having to sell my Blackhawks Convention tickets, and now I'm trying to find a time to get back to the Blackhawks Convention, man. Whew. It's hard to juggle these things.
You know, everybody's got to go to the Meigray Expo at least once. I mean, it's just an experience. You get to meet so many different people, you know, that are outside of your usual collecting realm, like guys you see online all the time. It was a great experience. I still talk to a lot of people that I met that weekend to this day. So
that, and you get to go into the warehouse, and it's pretty humbling when you step foot in that place.
Pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, you think you have a big collection that'll put you to shame. Of course, that's to be expected, but you don't realize exactly how many shirts they have until you actually like see them in person. That's nuts. I think I live streamed my walkthrough of the warehouse last year. It's pretty cool to get an opportunity to do that. So yeah. Open floor time. Open floor. I got something for open floor.
Blue
Dan,
sale is this coming Saturday.
Holy
blue
shit,
sale?
Doc.
Damn,
Wow, what the
Doc.
heck was that?
Hey, well, first of all,
That's a
welcome to
Doc.
the call, Doc. Second of all, thanks for blowing out my eardrums. Appreciate that.
Sorry, I'm not using my typical headset. I'm cell phoning it from Florida, so I'm sitting out by the beach.
Oh,
Oh, well, yeah, thanks for that. You know, I'm in a basement. How about that?
But you got a hockey rink in the basement, so don't bitch.
Hey, it's still a work in progress. Alright, so the Blues sale is next weekend.
The
Don't
Canes
have
had the Canes had theirs last weekend.
That's
And it
right,
I
was-
the
know
Canes.
Bobby went to that, so that was
Oh, yeah.
fun.
I met Bobby down there. After seeing the pictures of what Paul posted about San Jose, it was minute compared to what San Jose was.
So you went to the Hurricane sale?
Yeah, I drove down there. It's about a 3-hour drive for me, so I drove down there to meet Bobby. He's got family in that area, so he flew in for a day or two. And I got there. They let the season ticket holders go in first, and I stood in line for. I was the first one in line for 45 minutes, and I think when I was standing there, I think maybe 5 more season ticket holders walked in, and they wouldn't let anybody in before the season ticket holder before the 9:15 time frame.
Wow.
And I mean, they were checking people, and when you got up there, there were still some jerseys left. Prices were 100 to like 250, but they were all prior seasons. There was nothing from last year.
Dude, at those prices, I wouldn't give a shit. I would have bought
Yeah.
them all of
Yeah.
them.
The people were there were still some left, and then they had a few skates left, a few sticks left, the goalie pads. I think were all there. The blockers, the leg guards, because they were having them at $1,400.
Fuck that.
Yeah, few helmets, few shoulder pads, but when you see the pictures of Paul, the San Jose Shark one, it was very minute. Too, but they wrapped it up in a day. They also had a prospects signing. They also had a prospects scrimmage, the new draft picks and stuff like that.
Yeah, they tried to roll it into a convention similar to
Yeah.
what you would see at the Blackhawks thing.
Right, and for this is the first one I went to for an NHL team. I've been to a lower level team one before, so it was all right. There was some jerseys there. People were the season ticket holders. They got first choice. And after the collection, there was a guy. I found out there was a jersey there, and Bobby hooked me up with a guy, and then I was able to make a trade for a jersey that was there that I didn't get the chance to buy. So it all worked out. But
Not bad.
it was small. I mean, compared to like San Jose or Chicago, from what you guys are saying, it was. But it probably wasn't as crowded as some of those other ones either. So. It was all
That's
right.
the first time I've heard them doing something like that, So kind of neat for them. Give it a shot, whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's not too bad. I mean Hurricanes aren't they're not they're not in a major town like Chicago or San Jose or something like that, and they're not a powerhouse team like Detroit or Pittsburgh, where they have collectors all over the place. They're pretty much local fans that just want their team's stuff. A lot of Stahl stuff was getting sold. Eric Stahl had a ton of his sticks, and of course people walking out with the Eddie Lack and Cam Ward sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got up there was no used right-handed sticks left because I was going to grab a stick for my kid, and they only had new sticks. So, and they had it in one room in the some like VIP room up in the
Like the
rink.
suites.
Yeah, one of the suites. It didn't take up even a full room. There's plenty of room in there. So
Oh,
and
man.
there was nobody fighting. There was nobody pushing or shoving. So, but it was prices were the jerseys were $100 to like $250.
Ugh. Oh, disgusting. Would have bought them all, man. Just
Yeah, I
package
think-
them up
I
and
think-
send them
I
to
think-
me. Pay.
I think
go.
Bobby bought 15. I think he
Yeah.
had people buying them for him, and he went back. I think for a third time. I'm like, jeez. Yeah, he was buying all kinds of stuff.
No, I don't blame him, man. I wish he was here. Tell us what he got. I'm
Oh, he
jealous.
got-
I'm jealous.
He got some decent stuff, some stuff that fit his collection, some patches, and he did bring his Stamkos jersey with him. He flew it up there so I could look at it. That's pretty cool to hold a jersey that was valued at that much, because I don't own one that much. I act like I was gonna run off with it, but no, I didn't. So
You swing by this way this year, I'll let you touch this Larkin.
I did. I already saw the Larkin, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you did. Damn.
Who's that?
I'll let you touch a Hall of Famer
The
when I go to the Chicago Expo.
You can touch my Hall of Famer.
I knew that was coming.
It's a small
from
Hall of
somebody.
Famer.
it was all right. I mean, it wasn't the thing that you have for the Red Wings there, Derek, and it wasn't like what Paul has out there for San Jose. But I mean, it was okay. I mean,
It was
as
something to
these-
do, and it's you
Oh.
you didn't have to go a ton of distance. Like for me when I went to the Meigray Expo, it was like a 9-hour grueling drive. So I'd
Well,
travel somewhere for 3 hours. I'd
it's
go to the
3
Grand Rapids
hours.
thing, 3 hours, whatever.
3 hours from Norfolk to Raleigh is an easy drive.
Yeah.
Simple drive. And I had more time spending time with Bobby. His sister came over with a friend, and I had like a late breakfast, early lunch with Bobby. I had more time to just hang out with Bobby than the actual show, and that's why I went down there to kind of meet Bobby and then, okay, I'm going home now. See you later. So it was it all worked out. So.
And that's for a sale. Like I'll fly in for a convention or an expo or whatever. Like when they did the West Coast one, what was that? That'd been 3 years ago now, Paul.
Wow, yeah, that was 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, when we had that, I flew out there. I made sure I flew out there, and that was a freaking fun time. Holy shit! I don't know. We did that thing right. We did that thing right.
Ronan still talks about you all the time.
I was wasted and shit faced.
I'm sure Ronick was too.
He was.
He was 10 at the time. I hope not.
Different Ronick.
Derek was at for 3 or 4 days straight, so it was a good time.
Yeah, I hit it pretty hard, but yeah, no. I mean, seriously, these expos, these big ones, anything that's planned like that you can get to, like, find a way to get there. Take a train, fly in, drive in if you got to. This shit is so worth it. I keep to hate shameless plugging this event thing that we got going on in Chicago, but damn, dude, it's gonna be a freaking blast. Like, go out of your way. You have so much time to plan it. Go out of your way, get to it.
We'll be there.
I will get drunk and I will eat barbecue.
I still want us
And
to
that's-
get a game together too, Derek.
Yes, we need to plan a drop-in game.
Sunrise fight, buddy, you and us. Let's go. Goalie's going at it.
Oh, I'll goalie scrap. I don't give a shit, especially if I'm drunk.
Like I said, if we get guys that need gear, I got plenty that I can bring up. I'm only 3.5 hours south.
You bring them some full Mike McKenna setups.
Hey, I got my Columbus one I still need to break in.
Yeah, you got a cool story, Mike McKenna story. How about you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, and I've done this several different times, and Dan, I know you've seen the pictures and know the stories, but I've known Mike since juniors, and of course we had him on the show, last year, I think.
Oh, dude, he was one of the first episodes that we had. It was so awesome.
That's right. It was early in our radio careers, but I had picked up his one of his Columbus Blue Jackets jerseys and photo matched it to a bunch of stuff, and had it hang on the wall for a couple of years. And Mike keeps all his masks and tries to get as many of his game jerseys as he can get. So I shut him off an email saying, "Hey, I got one of your white Columbus jerseys." Shot him the picture of which one it was. I'm like, "If you're interested, let's make a deal." And he's like, "I got my full set of Columbus pads along with a chest protector if you want it." So took a Friday off last Friday and drove down to St. Louis and met up with him and sat in his driveway for a little bit and BS'd and gave him the jersey. And I got his set he got in December of that season. So they're a nice set of NXGs and a really nice chest protector. Our ice has been melted the last couple weeks for them redoing the rink, so I haven't had a chance to even strap them on yet.
So jealous, man. Those NXGs are something else.
I was hoping to get his the new Bowers from last season, the 1Ss, but he's still playing with those over the summer.
Oh yeah, dude, those 1Ss are hard to get, but dude, secondhand, I think they're gonna be shit. Those tear down so fast.
Yeah, that foam's gonna fall right apart.
Yeah, I'm very happy with what I got. It's funny because I've got his Riverman ones too, and I stood them side by side, and there's 3 inches of difference because they keep shrinking the damn gear down between the Riverman ones, and those were NHL spec also to the Columbus one, and that was just a couple seasons difference.
Nah, that's a hell of a trade though. Trading a jersey for a full set. Come on.
Well, and it means more to him because and he was trying to already find a place on his wall in his house for him, and it's like, you know what, I'd rather it go there because yeah, I can enjoy it and I know him, but I'd rather have the gear, and it means a lot for him to have those.
Yeah, it's really cool when you can, you hear some horror stories of some players, being hard to work with and whatnot. But man, dude, Mike, stand up freaking guy. Holy shit.
And I didn't ask for anything in particular. I was hoping. I said, hey, if you got some gear, make some kind of deal. And he knows I play in it. It doesn't just sit on a shelf. So he's like, I got my whole Columbus set. Deal. I didn't even have to think about that one.
That's so cool. So how far are you
yeah.
from, you said you're 3.5 hours from Chicago?
I'm in Springfield. So yeah, that'll be an easy. I haven't decided if I'm going to drive or take the train up. It depends on how much stuff I bring with me, especially if I'm having to bring jerseys and gear. But if I even driving up, so what?
No, I've been thinking about training it too, to be honest.
You
I'm
say so what
driving.
until you sit in Chicago traffic. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I lived in Chicago. I know what that's like.
yeah.
I'm driving from West Virginia to the Chicago show, so.
Ooh,
How long of a drive is that for you?
7, 8 hours, something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
We got somebody going 7. I challenge somebody else to have a longer trip.
Well, you're not gonna
challenge
beat
him.
Paul. How you gonna beat Paul? Paul's coming from San Jose.
He's fine. It's gonna be
He's
short.
flying.
It's a direct
Oh.
flight. It's easy.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm
It's
driving.
Chicago's easy to get to.
I'll be driving
6.5 hours for me.
I'll be driving about 16.
Okay, so we got a 16-hour drive here. I challenge somebody to drive farther.
And I do know what that drive feels like because with me driving down here and I hope to see Bobby this week. I'm only 20 or so minutes from him, but we drove straight Friday to yesterday here, so 19 hours in the car straight.
Wow.
It says 6.5, but if I have to go through Indiana, or Indianapolis, it's probably going to be 12 hours because I know how traffic is and construction. Indiana's always under construction.
I think we got a bunch of international guys coming in too. I've heard
That'd be
that
cool.
somebody from the UK is going to be coming, and the thing that I like about the Chicago location is it's a hub. So the tickets to fly into Chicago or somewhere around there are either A, going to be a direct flight, or B, considerably inexpensive compared to another location. And it's kind of like almost the center of the country. So people who don't have to come from out of country, I mean, it's like a flocking point. Plus, there's a bunch of cool shit to do. I know a great strip club we could go to.
one right around the corner.
The only thing is no alcohol if they're fully nude. And that sucks. So get
we'll
drunk
find out.
before.
Same way.
Shut out.
I bet you right now, Derek.
Debauchery. There will be debauchery. I
have to
like
get in
that.
contact a couple of my bouncer friends and see if they have any connections anywhere from when I used to work in Wrigleyville.
There we go. That would be sweet.
I got a good friend of mine that I could probably get to at our convention, but he's used to be a big would plan all the big parties at clubs in Chicago. If I want to hook up anywhere, you let me know and I'll just give him what we're doing. He'll take care of it.
Derek likes to party. And I believe Marco's going to be coming if he can get
Oh,
across the
Jesus.
border if they let him in.
Will they
So
let
you know
him
it's
in?
going to be a shit show.
Times 10 minus the exchange rate.
And a little bit on the gay side.
Yeah. And just a heads up too for next Saturday if anybody is going to St. Louis for the equipment sale, what I know so far is it starts at 10. They're letting in season ticket holders a half hour early. And by what their flyer said, I've not gotten prices yet. Lots of new gear, so I don't know why so much new gear this time around. But I think it'll be a crazy mess.
Well, in
always
previous
a
times,
crazy
it's never
mess.
been really organized very well, from what I understand. So I think, well, we're
And
looking
you're
at the
right,
same boat.
and this is even worse because they're doing an open house at the same time. They've never done it together, but now they're doing an open house. See the
Fantastic.
locker room and all
Oh my
that.
god,
bullshit.
I just want to go and just watch it happen. Just watch the chaos happen.
And I've got to send a friend of mine to get stuff because I'm just going to be leaving Florida that day.
Oh, man.
Do they typically have jerseys at the Blues sale? Because if they do, I know Monica has a request.
It depends year to year. Last year they did not. All they did is they had it in a concourse right inside where you come in to go see the games. The only jerseys they had were regular, just a handful of game jerseys. And I know they've got some still in the shop. The first set from 14-15, the white ones they just found in the closet because they started selling them. But until somebody shows up, I won't have any idea.
So I have a question. Does Monica Ott Convery Rank have any? Do you guys have a guess on which jersey she wants from the Blues?
I
Stats
wonder.
me.
Troy Brower. Troy Brower.
So if you guys can give me that jersey at a reasonable price, let me know, please. Okay, let Paul know because he's actually carries his phone with him.
Will do. I'll
Let me
arrange
do
to
some
have that
checking
jersey
because
for
I
you.
thought
2000.
when they put that set out from 14-15, I know Ott was in that list, but I didn't see that it was sold, but it may have.
Wasn't he
He's
really
right
high?
now on the new NHL Auctions Fanatics auction site. It's up on that page by Fanatics right now.
Ask what the starting bid is.
I can look it up right now. They're stupid. If that answers your question.
I've seen some of
I
them.
just checked it before we came online. Like the prices they're asking for the, and it's all blue stuff right now. They're like, we're gonna have all this unique stuff and all these game worn stuff, and right now it's just like a couple Blues jerseys.
It's because their fucking warehouse is full of them. They priced them too high.
Can I just say I fucking hate the new NHL auctions?
Yeah. Nope, they don't have an Ott. I'm sorry, they don't.
Okay, thank you. But hey, does anyone have the backstory on what's going on at NHL auctions?
They're dog shit now? I don't know.
Well,
Fanatic
yeah,
is doing it all, and
Yeah.
their NHL is an investor in them by what I understand.
Oh, NHL is an investor in Fanatics?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just didn't know if anything came up at the Meigray Expo about this. 'Cause I'm sure some people would have asked Barry what the hell's going on.
I'm betting somebody did. Hopefully that story gets out because I think it's a bullshit way to do things, and I'm hoping the NHL isn't going to start forcing all the teams.
Yeah, I really hope they
put
don't
stuff
either.
out there.
Because that means they're going to have low-level teams. They're going to ask you for the same level price of like $500 for a player that played 5 games because they have a Bortuzzo for that much. And I think he played a handful of games all season because he was a healthy scratch.
It's so
I know
fucking
other
hard to
guys that have
navigate.
picked up, oh God, yeah,
It is.
It's just ugly.
Just go to categories. That's about the only way you could do it.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm afraid that like in the old one, you would go to game worn jerseys and it wouldn't list all the game worn jerseys. It would only list the Meigray jerseys that actually chose that category, and then you'd go to the teams that actually had stuff going on, and then it would display that team's game worn jerseys. But they didn't show up in the game worn jersey category. I'm afraid that's what's gonna happen here, and you're gonna have to fucking sift through every single fucking team, whether they have some shit or not. I fucking hate it. I'm so angry right now.
It's gonna be a total shit show, and they're gonna wonder why they're not selling crap.
Well, none of the blue stuff has bids on them because the prices are stupid. It's not.
That's obvious.
Business-wise, it doesn't. It's not making any sense.
And Meigray isn't even listed as a partner on here.
I'm wondering if they got booted.
And that begs the question, what's going to happen at the Team USA auctions?
Oh.
And the stuff many of us care about.
Yeah, no shit.
Or even like the Winter Classic and that type of thing when they're doing the 3 jerseys a game. Well, those begin looking more now.
Now it's going to be
Side
6.
Side note with Winter Classic, if you guys, anybody likes Wild jerseys, I did see they posted a bunch of their Winter Classic on their game worn site.
last time I checked, since they started posting them, only one has sold, and of course that was the Vanek.
And I didn't think the prices were too out of line.
Oh, the prices are really attractive. I think they start at $750, which is very fair for, compared to what other teams are asking for those games.
Right. Well, that's if they don't put them in the auction.
Well, when the Red Wings were selling the packages, they were not cheap. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I would expect the Wild ones to sell if anyone knows that they are available.
And I will say I'm looking at one of the jerseys out on their site. He's one of the Blues players now, but their pricing is super reasonable. Their on website pictures aren't great, but when you email them, they send me all kinds of pictures, all kinds of wear information. Super nice. They at least know how to deal with customers.
Right. And it's like former players is like cheaper than what current players are. It's like I think I saw a couple of former players like for $250, and it's like it wasn't like they were there for a cup of coffee. They were there for like the whole season. And it's like, yeah, here's their set 1 and their set 2 and set 3, and it's all $250. They're not on team anymore. So
even their game issues are $100.
Yeah, not bad.
They've been wonderful to deal with.
I'm actually. Oh, go ahead. You're speaking of equipment sales. I'm actually got the okay from my wife that I am going to go to my first one next year, besides going to an expo. So,
which one are you going to?
Calgary, 2,000 miles away. That's because round trip it's $400, and it's so couldn't pass that up.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then I'm either going to probably stay with a couple friends out there or get a hotel and just tour the city that I've always wanted to do and go to equipment sale and hopefully not buy anything big.
Yep, that was me queuing up the music to end the show because we're getting down to the final minutes. So we've got about 2 minutes left. Do we have any final thoughts?
Yeah.
Monica has something.
Monica.
Someone just mentioned wives. I know you mentioned wives in the hobby before. When are we gonna talk?
I'm trying to get that arranged. I know Heather's on board. I know you're on board. I'd like to get at least 2 more.
My wife's on board.
3. All right, so 1 more. If we can get 1 more wife that's willing to talk about the guys in the hobby, then I'm going to do it. And the way I'm going to run it is I'm going to queue everything up. I'll do the intro, and then just you guys have it for an hour. I won't even be around. None of the guys will be around. We'll be upstairs listening to the show.
Oh, that's not fair. You have to listen to us. We listen to you.
We're going to listen to you through the web, through the cast, but not live on the call where we can talk. It's going to be all you girls. It's your show for that weekend. So we need one more wife or girlfriend. I'm looking at Stephen Brooks here, but I know that's probably not going to happen.
She was awesome.
She was awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm definitely still interested in hooking that up. So once we get 1 more queued up, we'll schedule a time and get that rolling. We'll see what kind of shits you'd be talking about us. Hopefully you guys are really candid too. Real candid. There might be some divorces going down on GameWorn Radio. Alright, that's about all the time we have. I will be letting everybody know when we can get that queued up. All you listeners that may not have called in, or if you have called in and you're listening later, make sure you ask your ladies. We just need 1 more. Just an hour of their time on a Sunday. Talk to other women. It's kind of like a support group. And register for the Chicago Expo. It's April 8th. Thanks guys for joining.
Having you guys here, man.
If you guys want to stay on the call, we'll talk for a quick minute. Alright? Alright.